What's going on, you guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja, and disclaimer before we get into the talk of Acolyte episode 5. I'm sick. I think I have food poisoning, but I'm not sure, so yeah, that's why there's no stream today, because this vid should go up the same day, basically, so yeah. Well, anyway, that's why there's no stream. Just woke up this morning, and yeah, I was, yeah, you get the picture. You know what happens with food poisoning. We aren't going to be able to sit down for a 2-hour stream and not be running away every 10 minutes. But luckily, hold on, I'm moving the mic a little closer. Luckily, today was the first episode of Acolyte I actually would say I enjoyed. There might have been moments I enjoyed in other ones, but the overall episodes were just very, you know, without being too negative, obviously, you already know the thoughts. But admittedly so, this episode was mainly just because of the duel. I don't even know if you want to call it a duel. It's more one guy versus an army, you know? Feels like you're playing heroes versus villains. But that turns out for me still, Kamir or whatever I don't even know his name. That's probably not a good time to say that, but he's the only villain I enjoy in this show, or only character I enjoy in this show, because the intro last episode was awesome. Even though they did have the annoying cliffhanger, at least it did pay off coming to this episode. The fight was actually really well done, which I was not expecting. I was hoping for, but not fully expecting it. But it was, I think it's up there with some of the best Star Wars fights we've seen. Mainly because it's not just a 1v1 where neither of the guys want to die right away, so you just turn into swing. The dude was outnumbered. Most of them did not get killed from a force push, which was one of the things we were kind of speculating. So luckily, there were plenty of people for this teethy Sith, not Sith guy to go after. And they did it pretty well. I gotta give them credit. Acolyte might be horrible at a lot of things. This lightsaber duel was good. Some of the other stuff of the episode, I'm alright with, but you know, like, not the best, not horrible. But again, it shows where if you get something good in there, it could really help overlook some of the bad stuff. Where this duel, it was just so good. He's literally chopping dudes' heads off. I guess the only complaint that I know, so I haven't really looked at social media, to be honest. I've been sick too much today and went back to sleep, so I'm not knowing what people are saying as of now. But I have a feeling they're mad about. It's spoiler warning. I think her name's Jackie, whatever, the little Padawan girl. Maybe she was a Jedi. I don't know what rank. Whatever Soul's new girl was, she got stabbed 3 times and died. And people are gonna be, oh, you can't stab people. I'm sure, you know, it's the same thing. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. I agree, but whatever. It's kind of the problem with Acolyte. Once it gets so much hate, you kind of lose your own argument if you're on the side that hates it. Even though I'm on that side, where if you start like straining to hate every single thing, it makes you look less legitimate, if you will. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, they're so worried about every little detail, they can't just admit there's an awesome moment happening here. Doesn't mean the show's good, doesn't mean the rest of the show will be good. But at least the duel was fun. But you always got to find something. And now there's a difference between nitpicking or, you know, having a discussion and then being mad. Whereas, I have a feeling you're going to be seeing some dudes pretty mad. But anyway, this fight was awesome. And for the people who dislike certain characters, well, good news for you, they die. So that was good. What was his name? Ford? Whatever the one Jedi is that's always... What's his name? I am drawing a blank on names. Vader, could you help me out? Yord? I think it's Yord with a Y. Anyway, whatever that Jedi is. Yeah, that dude snapped his neck. That was awesome. I'm like, oh no, he's on a holding press. Oh no, you just killed him. Well, alrighty then. So, Acolyte, not a good show. But villain intro and the fight scene with him were awesome, top notch. So again, that's where I can give you credit when you do something good. And that fight scene, it was good. I haven't watched it back. I haven't seen anybody studying it for a realistic breakdown. So, you know, this is just me and my initial thought. I thought the fight was awesome. I was like, yo, this is fucking cool. Oh, I shouldn't cuss. We've been getting demonetized like every video, so I apologize for cussing, YouTube moderator. It just makes me think, if they had started the show with this level of quality, how it would have maybe panned out differently. If he didn't do all the other, you know, the controversial shit everybody's talking about. it still gives me hope for lightsaber duels in Star Wars, but the story I'm still not sold on. I guess if I had to find another nitpick that people are going to complain about, I'm trying to think what, putting myself in their shoes, because overall I like the episode. There were things I didn't like, but I think one thing I would guess people are going to be annoyed about is Jackie, whatever, the little alien Padawan of Soul.
Trying to shut off the main weapons.
She went toe-to-toe with May, and I have a feeling you'll see people complaining that why was she able to go toe-to-toe with May when I don't remember the name, the first female Jedi everybody loved from Matrix died to her. I have a feeling that will be my next thing I hear, because I didn't think that myself. I'm like, whatever. But then again, where if you get an awesome scene, it can override some of those things where you're just left like, really? Like, you're left questioning it. It overrode it for me, because then we had an awesome lightsaber duel where she got a dual blades, basically, and dare I say, it reminded me of Ahsoka with dual blades, and I'm like, man, I would have loved to see Ahsoka doing that in live action, but sadly we haven't got that yet. But then she died, which was awesome, because my main thing is I like shows where good guys die. I don't like shows where they just get to get away and blah, 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 blah. You know, so they killed 2 of the main guys that were there, which is good. But my weakest or biggest complaint for this episode, and it's more just the series overall, but once the fight scene stopped, the dialogue was not very good. And even some of the dialogue during the fight scene wasn't good, but again, nobody really cares because it was an awesome scene, right? You can overlook some of it, but towards the end of the episode, you get May and Osha meeting again and having a discussion. And it was supposed to be like a big, impactful moment, and it just, the dialogue came off very weak for me, I would say. At least in my opinion. I'm sure not everyone would agree, obviously, but it just, it doesn't get me into the story. Like, oh, well, you like lightsabers, but you don't like commentary. Well, you must not watch me, because I love the dialogue and good shows. This show does not have good dialogue, unfortunately. Well, you know, there was one bit of dialogue I really liked. After he killed, I believe it was Jackie, or the little Padawan girl. I forgot what Soul said, but he said something, like if it was the person's name or whatever, and the Sith guy goes, "Is that what it was?" I just started cracking up. Or he said something like that, where it just called her a it, but not in the woke way that's gonna trigger people, just in the disrespectful, like, that's what that thing is? Like, or I think he said thing, I don't remember, but he just roasted her. I started cracking up. Like, goddamn, dude, that dude sounds like me. Is that what that thing was? Like, damn, dude got jokes on him. That was funny. I know some people probably didn't like how obvious, I don't even know the dude's name, the smiley teeth guy, the Asian guy that was with May earlier was the villain, but I personally, I don't mind it. But yeah, whatever. I thought he did an awesome job. He did a good job playing 2 different roles. Playing the dumb guy from the other few episodes to the Sith Lord. He has a different personality. So his acting, I say he's doing a good job. But back to the May and Osha thing. I was debating right now. I was literally laying in bed trying to sleep because I feel so sick. Just woke up to record this video. And I was trying to come up, oh my goodness, with why I think the dialogue was so bad on the scene. And I'm just speculating, because isn't it the one actress playing both twins, right? It's not actually 2 actresses. So I don't know, maybe if they're having to shoot the dialogue where you're not actually having the back and forth conversation with another character, it doesn't feel as authentic as if it was 2 separate characters having that same dialogue, maybe. That's where my mind went. Like, maybe she shoots the dialogue to, like, a stand-in who's not really part of the conversation. Then she has to put on the other outfit and then go pretend to be the other girl, you know? So maybe that's why I'm just not getting sold with the dialogue in that particular scene. But, again, the dialogue hasn't been particularly great throughout this whole show. And part of it was Soul. I forgot, he had a line in here where I thought was a little weird. But, again, he's learning English for this role, so I can give him a pass. But I don't know. Overall, it's the first episode I've actually enjoyed. Now, will they keep that? Will they keep it up like this? I don't know. To me, they could do the fights good, and everything else so far has been very lackluster. The CGI did look wonky in one scene where they chopped down some trees, but, I mean, yeah. Again, when it's in an awesome scene like that, you can overlook a lot of those seems like when the episodes are lackluster or not very exciting, it stands out. You know, you start nitpicking. At least I do anyway. So I can give it a pass on the weak CGI there, but the power of good things and what they can do. What else? I was gonna say something else, but now I lost my train of thought. What was it? Oh, I heard somebody say, this is one of the few things I did hear on social media about the fight, that Leslie or whoever the main person is, I don't know, the writer of this episode or somebody, said that this was going to be their favorite episode. Which I could see why, because it was an awesome saber duel. I give credit where credit is due. I don't like your show, but that was awesome, so props to the choreography team and whatever. They did a fantastic job. But I'm sure it's still going to be interesting going forward, especially if we get more duels. But if that was the main thing, I'm a little worried if the show can maintain its excitement levels for me. I'm sure there's going to be more moments. One of the reasons I'm worried is I really get the vibe OSHA and May are going to have a Captain Planet style, put our rings together and we can take out this guy. I really get that vibe. So that's not going to be particularly exciting for me. I don't like that level of writing, to be honest, especially when I think it's so blatantly obvious. Maybe I'm wrong, though, so we'll just have to see. Because we know there's at least one big engagement where the girl everybody hates, the green girl, Leslie's girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever you want to call her, if I dare say her, I don't know. I'm not keeping up with all this shit going on here. But it looks like there will at least be another big fight. So hopefully they do it well. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But overall, what did you guys think of the episode? I think most people, and I haven't looked at none of the haters, I think most people are going to be into this fight scene. Even the people hating on Acolyte, I think they got to at least give them credit. Otherwise, I think they're not doing themselves justice. Unless they're breaking it down on a very realistic standpoint, which, let's face it, even though I enjoy doing that, no, they're not really fighting, so obviously there's going to be holes in it, you know. But what else? Oh, there was another thing. There was a big thing. Oh, the Sith thing. I did see a tweet briefly when I got on. I'm not going to name names, but they were making a big deal that he called himself a Sith, but if I haven't watched it back, but I don't think he called himself a Sith. He worded it in a way where it was like, I'm paraphrasing here, like, I don't know what I am, but you would probably call me a Sith, like the Jedi's way of doing it. So I don't think he's actually a Sith. Now, he might get called one by the Jedi, but I don't think he is actually a Sith. And there's a reason I picked Kylo, because I think at the end of the episode, he goes over towards, I'm mixing the names up. I believe it's Osha, the good one as of now. Who knows, she might turn. They might do a whole switcheroo and the bad turns good and the good turns bad type situation. But it sounded like it was Kylo's theme playing, but I could be wrong, but like it had maybe a little differences on it. So it might not be perfect. I could be wrong though. Again, I haven't watched it back or anything. But it kind of sounded like they were hinting at something like that. So that might be something to keep an eye out for. But again, the whole Sith topic that everybody's making a big deal out of, which I agree to a certain extent. I think they're being a little dramatic with it, a lot of their arguments right now. But there is a reason they had to bring Ki-Adi-Mundi back. It doesn't make any sense to bring him back and then just, oh, it's a cover-up, and then they ignore it. They brought him back for a reason. So we still haven't seen that reason why he was brought back yet. He wasn't in this episode. So there's still a reason we don't know. But I'm kind of trying to think how to word it. It's in my head, but putting it in words is complicated for a stupid person like me. So, like, even though I don't think he's a Sith, I think they're hinting he's something else. Whether it's like something like a Knight of Ren, or, you know, something like that. Even if it turns out to be a, I always forget her name. Abeloth thing. Even they said, though, that like, you guys would probably call me a Jedi. That's what you would be used to calling me. Or, excuse me, a Sith. So you would still have that whole thing where at some point in the next 3 episodes, they're going to need to talk about that with Ki-Adi or do something with the scene. Otherwise, I will roast it. Because there's no reason to bring them back. If it's just going to be a cover-up and like, hey, they killed them all off and they're going to wipe it under the rug so you can say that line in the prequels, you might as well not have brought them back, in my opinion. But again, there's still 3 episodes, I believe. Yeah, 3 episodes to get into it, so. That's why I'm not overly roasting that whole topic yet. I have to wait to see how they play out the character. So we'll only know it by the time the show ends, but yeah. Anyway, at least I had an episode to enjoy, which was nice. We got a nice lightsaber duel. If you don't like the show, at least watch the duel. It's pretty cool. But it might not have as much meaning when you don't know the backstory. But at least the duel itself was kind of cool. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll just end the video here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.